Blackstone is an investment firm. It's a hedge fund. So what they're going to do is they're going to invest their clients' money to get into the market and beat the market to hedge their bets against market changes. So I'm not even sure if they're going to be around very long. This might be just a pump and dump where they pump their money in and then get out, dump the stock and get out. The first thing I think about when I read through these articles, I see words like tactical opportunities and accelerated growth. And it makes me wonder, is Blackstone going to come in here and take a 5-star restaurant and turn it into a McDonald's? Is it just going to be about cranking slabs out the door, end over end? And will the quality go down? Do I trust to send my comic in here to be graded? And do I trust buying a comic that's been graded during the Blackstone era? I mean, it might be perfectly fine. I mean, Nick's probably got some points on the expansion of their infrastructure, but I have my concerns here.
Sending books off to CGC has gone from 6-week turnaround pre-pandemic, 5 to 6 month turnaround post-pandemic. The reason that they have given my LCS is one of their bigger accounts, is during the pandemic and at the same time they started taking on grading Pokemon cards and sports collectible cards and things of that nature. The shutdowns and everything like that, they got really, really stacked up and they're way behind right now. Training new graders and bringing them in is very, very good in my opinion. Also, where it says expanding its geographic and product reach, meaning that they're going to make more than one place. Because if I'm not mistaken, CCG is just one place in Florida right now. And so when you've got the entire country coming to one place in Florida to get everything graded, that just adds to the wait time. So I see it as a good thing to be able to hire more graders and more employers and to put different grading facilities in different places.
I would definitely like to see more facilities throughout the United States, maybe even in other countries. But one thing I know about business, at least from my own perspective, my own business background, is new ownership is typically driven by turning a greater profit. That takes precedent over better service. But I think I'm looking at it as the glass is half empty. You're looking at it as it's half full. I guess we'll see.
Where I do kind of see a problem, though, is, with all these TV, film, entertainment, and stuff like that, those type of gigs and stuff coming in, is it going to start hurting the bread and butter customers? I mean, are these people going to take more precedent over them doing comic books and sports cards and Pokemon cards? Is this going to be one of those things where eventually we see the comic book grading part getting spun off and sold? I mean, CGC isn't the only comic book grading company out there, but it's the gold standard. It's the one that everybody uses. On the other hand, when it comes to sports memorabilia, CGC is not the gold standard. There's 2 or 3 other companies out there that have been doing this for a lot longer. Could be a way for them to corner the market on this a little bit as well, because they're putting everything in there. That kind of gives me a moment's pause.
Yeah, this Rock Nation group, they're pretty interesting when you start looking into them. I mean, they've got their fingers in a lot of different pies here, from everything from music to sports to TV and film. I mean, this is a smart play on their part to get into this the collectible scene. Real smart. The one thing I would tell you to keep in mind is Blackstone is an investment firm. It's a hedge fund. So what they're going to do is they're going to invest their clients' money to get into the market and beat the market to hedge their bets against market changes. So I'm not even sure if they're going to be around very long. This might be just a pump and dump where they pump their money in and then get out, dump the stock and get out.
And if that happens, that could pretty much be the end for CGC and CCG as we know it. Because when you have that kind of infusion of cash come in, and then all of a sudden there's nothing there to back it up, it's inflation. It's just gonna be worthless, and it's all gonna be spent and gone away. There's another person in here that I find kind of interesting. Is a gentleman by the name of Michael Rubin. For people who don't know who Michael Rubin is, he owns a company called Fanatics, which is sports memorabilia and things of that nature. Also, he's part owner of the Philadelphia 76ers and the New Jersey Devils. And he is one of 2 people in the Philadelphia 76ers organization who are involved in this one. The other one being Daryl Morey, who's the president of operations for the Philadelphia 76ers. A cynical person might think Is there going to be some kind of insider knowledge that may get shared around to some of these people? Because, like you said, this is an investment group, and it doesn't seem coincidental that this takeover happens right after X-Men #1 sold at an auction for the amount of money that it did sell, which was a huge number.
Yeah, Nick, that X-Men #1 went for over $700,000. Obviously, an enormous amount of money. I was listening to the Rob Liefeld podcast the other day, and he was at an art show with original art. It was all original comic book art, and he said the prices there started at $4,000.
Everyone should keep in mind that up until about a year and a half ago, the market was flat on all of these. There was no big money moving or anything like that. And now, since we've had the pandemic and the lockdown, we've seen all these people go through their collections, and they're starting to send this stuff in. So CGC knows what's out there. I know that people who are in the sports cards trading will remember that back in the early 2000s, and I can't remember the name of the auction company that was doing it, but there was an auction company that graded your cards and then auctioned your cards, and then the owner got arrested by the FBI for fixing prices in those auctions towards his friends, investors, and he got busted for running a Ponzi scheme, and that killed sports cards market. It took it from early 2000s, say 2003, 2004, all the way back to now to finally build back up to where there's trust in the industry again and all this other stuff. So we could be seeing this playing out before us again. I'm not saying that any of this is going to happen, but as speculators, collectors, it's our job to keep these guys accountable in what they're doing and make sure that there's no shadiness going on, because if they do a pump and dump, or they do get into some of this other stuff and get caught, that's it. It'll be another 20 to 30 years before this stuff bounces back, if it does at all. As collectors and as speculators, it is our job to keep what could be a new behemoth and a new monolith accountable. We have to make sure that they're not going in and inflating these prices or doing anything nefarious other than making sure that we get the best graded product for our money. If we don't, we'll watch the market fall apart again like we did before.